Warning: this story contains a lot of poop. Interior: it's an office bathroom, and it's daytime. We're introduced to Wilson, one of our protagonists, in his 20s. His sweaty forehead hangs above a loose necktie, and he reads a magazine while sitting on the toilet. He breathes deeply and strains. A grunt of effort is followed by a splash. As he turns the page, a picture of a nice car catches his eye. I'd like to drive one of those, Wilson says. A grunt of effort precludes a jailbreak of flatulence with machine gun cadence. Wilson sniffs and chuckles. Oh God, that's terrible. He turns the page and stares into space as he feels another movement approaching. Uh-oh. He grunts softly and turns the page. Suddenly, the door swings open as an unknown showstopper enters. Wilson snaps to attention. He ruffles the pages and coughs to signal his presence in the stall. The showstopper carries on, washing his hands in the sink and whistling. Wilson strains to look through the crack of the stall door where he sees the showstopper beginning to comb his hair. He cannot make out the identity of this man. In consternation, Wilson hisses, "You gonna comb your hair now?" The showstopper puts away his comb and without warning spins and heads confidently directly towards Wilson's stall. Wilson desperately ruffles the magazine pages and clicks his heels to no avail. The showstopper reaches out and pulls the stall door handle, which rattles violently as he shakes it to try and open it. Wilson's latest movement matures at the same time, and he grimaces in discomfort and embarrassment. As the stall door rattles, more flatulence and a high-pitched squeak with a sudden splash in the water. Undeterred, the showstopper continues rattling the handle. "Is someone in there? Is someone in there?" Wilson coughs hard. The showstopper rattles the handle once more, then goes to the stall next to Wilson. And we hear, as if in slow motion, a belt unbuckling, unzipping, and the lid being lifted, followed by grotesque echoing noises in the toilet bowl. The showstopper says, "Oh yeah. Wilson stares at the door next to him. He stares at the door to the stall, wearing an expression of disgust, while the grotesque noises continue. In the next scene, Wilson is in his car. He drives through town, shifting uncomfortably in his seat. Before long, he pulls up to a convenience store and he spots his waving girlfriend, Beth. He slows down as she gets in. "Hey, babe, how's it going?" she asks. "Not bad, I guess. How was your day?" She can tell something's wrong. "Thrilling. Another day, another $50. I might actually be able to pay Preston the rent on time this month," she says. "I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Not like he's getting it from Sean anytime soon." Wilson shifts uncomfortably in his seat. "What's that?" "What? Why are you shifting in your seat like that?" she asks. "Oh, I had an incident at work, and now I need to take a shower." "What kind of incident makes you need to take a shower?" "I was show-stopped," Wilson says. "Badly." "What?" "I got interrupted today in the office bathroom, and I didn't have the cleanest dismount. Now I have an itchy butt because there's a small amount of doo-doo in limbo between being in and being out." "Gross," Beth says. "Didn't you wipe?" Wilson ignores the question and tells her, "You should wear your seatbelt." "Why wouldn't you just wipe it?" she asked. "I wiped. Of course I wiped. I was rushed. I wanted to get out of there before his stank consumed me. God, it was terrible. It got warmer and warmer." I went to brush my teeth in the upstairs bathroom as soon as I could. He shifts uncomfortably in his seat. It's not outside, but it thinks it is. Beth recoils. Ooh, spare me the details. Actually, I have to poop too, now that I think about it. Want me to pull over at a gas station? Wilson asks. This is the kind of guy he is. He's got his own problems, but he's willing to delay his shower at home so that his girlfriend may go to the bathroom at a gas station. But she says, no thanks, honey. I'll wait. I can't go unless I'm at home. This is an important note for her character, by the way. She cannot go unless she's at home. Wilson runs his tongue over his teeth below his lips. Ugh, I wonder who it is. And what happened to Steve? Who's Steve? Beth asks. They're now at their living room. It's still daytime. Wilson sits in a towel with wet hair and no shirt on. He's a buff lad, sure to make all the ladies do a double take. Beth is on the couch next to him and sitting across from their roommates, Sean and Preston. Everyone is the same age, but Preston is the odd man out. He's dressed in sharp, preppy clothing, while the rest of them wear low-income garments. And Sean asks, what happened to Steve? Wilson says, I assure you I don't know. Maybe he got called into Jim's office. He was there when I went in, but I didn't see him the rest of the day. He's never failed me before. Failed you at what? Preston asks. Protecting me, ensuring my privacy. Is he your network security administrator? No, he's in my PFN. Since Sally was gone today, he was basically my whole PFN, and he let me down. What's PFN? Sean answers, Pooping Friends Network. What? What's that? That's a silly name. It's a group of people in the office who monitor frequently used bathrooms when a safe haven isn't available. They know when you're making a doo-doo, and if someone tries to intrude on you, they'll distract that person for a while. And Sean jumps in. It's called running coverage. Wilson apologizes to Sean for the lapse in appropriate vocabulary usage. Sorry. If you're about to get interrupted, your PFN will run coverage for you. It only takes a few. I've got Sally and Steve. Today, Sally was sick, but Steve was at his desk. I knew I was risking trouble going down to just one spotter, but breakfast was hitting me hard. Didn't Steve know you were in there? Sean asks. Wilson says they made eye contact on his way in, and Preston says, I've never heard of such a thing. Sean sighs. Preston. Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I disappoint you, Sean? Let's change the topic. I'll be taking the rent now. Oh, no retort? Right then. I'll spare you the embarrassment of trying to sell me your bullshit one more time and ask you to please pay me by Monday or vacate the residence. I suffer far too much in your presence to let you stay for free. Sean says that hurts. Tough titty, Sean. The truth hurts sometimes, but as my father says, you stand up straight and you take it like a man. Sean asks, how do I cause you suffering? Oh, as if you don't know, you and Wilson's incessant discussion of your maturations and your celebrations of all things poopy related. It started as merely a slightly off-putting and mildly queer personality quirk, but what? But as you've gotten more comfortable here in my father's house and made it your own, it's become a full-on animal party with nothing but revolting talk of your feces and the names of all your varieties of poopy and fascination with things between your buttocks all the time. He turns to Beth. Honestly, Beth, I don't understand you at all. You mean me and Wilson? Yes, you're a fine, halfway sophisticated, albeit impoverished young woman. How can you be with him? Do you not grow tired of these two's poopy talk? You've chosen to move in with him, and he's always with the other one, so tell me, how do you deal with it? Beth shrugs. I don't know. I guess it doesn't bother me as much as it you. I'm a reasonable person. I have reasonable limits, but they just go on and on and on. It's incessant. Maybe a little, I guess. By the way, about that rent. I'll be able to pay you by the 7th of this month. That's Beth. I appreciate it, Beth. He turns to Sean and says, We do live in a society of laws, after all. If the rent is due on the 7th, then people should pay on the 7th. Sean says, "Oh, have a heart, Preston. It's my birthday tomorrow. You've not even invited me to the party." "You're going to the Dominican Republic with your dad," Sean retorts. "Still, it's only proper to offer an invite." Preston checks his watch. "Ah, speaking of which, I'm off to my parents for evening tea." Preston stands up to leave. "Wilson, when will you pay?" "I get paid on the 9th, and I can pay you then." "The 9th it is." "That's not fair," Sean says. "Tough titty, Sean, tough titty. Everyone has to get up and go to work, and some people have to go to work more often than others. That's just the way the world works." "Does your dad say that too?" "Yes, and he's your landlord, so you should show some respect." Wilson and Beth stand too. "You're leaving too?" Sean asks. "I'm going to get dressed and drive her to class." So let's move on. They are now in their car. Wilson and Beth sit in the front seat. Sean is in the back. Sean asks Wilson, "Did you camo cough?" "Of course, and I ruffled the magazine." "Fred Astaire?" "What's that one?" "A toe tap," Sean says. Wilson says, "Yes, of course. I tapped the hell out of the floor and clicked my heels like I was the Wizard of Oz. It was like he was deaf or intentionally trying to rush me." Sean says, "I'm sorry that happened to you, brother. Show stopped at the worst possible time by an Uncle Ted. I've been there too. That unclean, itchy feeling all day. It's awful." "Beth, you aren't wearing your seatbelt," he points out. "Sean, why did you come? Do you have somewhere to go?" Sean says, "I like to go for a ride sometimes. What's the problem? Were you two going to make secret plans for my birthday party?" "Maybe," Beth says. "Aw, that's sweet." Suddenly, flashing police lights and a siren. Beth hastily puts on her seatbelt. Wilson pulls over with the police car. In the rear view, hulking Officer Chad Chaddington steps out of the cruiser behind them. "Great, it's Chaddington." "Of all people," Wilson says. Chaddington reaches the window. "License and registration." Wilson passes the documents. "Hello, Chad." "That's Officer Chaddington to you." "Officer Chaddington, what are we being stopped for?" Sean requests. Chaddington leans in to look at him. "Is that you, Blumpkins? Wow, together forever, huh?" "What are we being stopped for, Chad?" Wilson asks. Chaddington passes the documents back and begins writing his ticket on his ticket pad. "Your girlfriend wasn't wearing her safety belt." "Yes, I am," Beth says. "Yes, you are, but you weren't. That's the issue here, and I don't appreciate your attempt to try to trick me. You know what they say concerning safety belts, ma'am." "Officer Chaddington, couldn't you just—" Wilson tries to butter him up. Chaddington raises his voice. "Do you know the law concerning safety belts, ma'am?" Beth says sheepishly, "Click it or ticket." "Click it or ticket. You didn't click it, so here is your ticket." He rips the ticket off the pad and hands it to her. $200? But I need that money to pay rent." "I'm sorry about your housing situation, ma'am, but it's the law. It's for your own safety." "Please." "Sorry, ma'am. Click it or ticket." "Wilson, Blumpkins, keep up the good work." Chaddington leaves, and Wilson says, I don't need your I told you so's right now, babe." Wilson says, "Can't stand that guy. He makes me so damn angry." "Oh, what am I going to do? I need my $200 so I can play Preston." Sean says, "Can't you make it back at the shoe store before he comes home from the Dominican Republic?" "How? What can I do?" Beth says. "Everyone's already fighting for shifts. And now I'm late for class. What a day." Turns to Wilson, gives him a kiss on the cheek. "Come to get me in a few hours?" Wilson is still staring into space and gripping the wheel. "Babe?" Beth asks. Now we go to flashback sequence. It's high school, and high school Wilson and Sean are walking down the hall. High school Chaddington and his crony are coming from the other direction. They see Wilson and Sean and start fake fighting. Chaddington, "Hey, don't push me." The crony says, "I'll push you if I want." The crony pushes Chaddington with extreme power. Chaddington intentionally careens into Wilson, pushing him over a big plastic trash band, which bends under Wilson first and then pops out. The trash can careens into the hallway as Wilson thuds on the floor. Chattington says to his friends, "See what you did?" They laugh like chimps and walk away as Sean helps Wilson up. Still in the flashback, now we're in the classroom. Wilson sits at his desk. Chattington is in the front of him, wiping his nose with a tissue. He crumbles it up, turns it around, and lets it fall on Wilson's desk. "Special delivery." Wilson is disgusted. Chattington looks at him stone-faced for a moment before bursting into more chimp laughter. Still in the flashback, school parking lot. Wilson is in his car waiting in a line of cars as students exit the parking lot. Chattington rolls up next to him suspiciously. "Special delivery," he yells. Chattington sprays window washer fluid into Wilson's open window. Chattington has changed the angle of his windshield wiper sprayer just for this occasion. Chimp laughter as he drives away. Now, you might have guessed from the pain in my voice, those were actually incidents that happened to me. Thank you. I think it was John Nelson who taught me that little number about turning your windshield wiper fluid towards another car. Interior in Wilson's car, the flashback is coming to an end. Beth is still waiting for an answer from tight-lipped Wilson. "Babe, I'd like to give him a special delivery." "Okay, then. I really gotta go. Maybe I'll see you in a few hours. Maybe I'll hitchhike." "See ya." Beth leaves in a hurry and Sean takes the front seat. Wilson, snap out of it." "What a day," he says. Now we're at Preston's father Joseph's house. He's their landlord, as we'll see. Preston eats dinner with his posh father Joseph and his mother Winifred. Joseph says, "What a dreadful day. So many ridiculous people asking for piddly loans to do silly things." "What sort of things?" Winifred asks. "Oh, I can hardly recall. Ah, yes, I do remember one. Some musicians wanted a few thousand to rent a studio, practically on their hands and knees begging me to give them a few quarters so they could record their album and jumpstart their music career. Pah! The way they groveled lacked any dignity whatsoever." Preston asks, "What kind of music do they play?" "What? What kind of music? It doesn't matter, not in the least. There's no room for their artsy dilly-dallying in my bank. I told them to take their act to the street and put out a hat. Ha!" "Are you packed for the Dominican Republic, dear?" Winifred asked Preston. "Yes, Mumsy. I've packed my things and they are waiting by my bedroom door." "Have you collected the rent from your tenants?" Not yet, Father. They don't have it yet." "Don't have it? What do you mean?" Well, sir, they work part-time jobs and their pay dates fluctuate." "Pish-posh. Tell them if they don't pay by the 5th, then they are out on the street. They can play the spoons and put out a hat if they wish to eat." "I've given them until the 7th and one of them until the 9th. Joseph drops his silverware in aggravation and points at his son. "Preston, how many times must I tell you not to be a soft belly? If you never develop a thick skin, you'll never be able to do what I do in the loan department." "Yes, Father." "Father, I was wondering if I might stay home from the Dominican and—" "What? And what? What would you rather?" "Well, nothing." "You want to stay and do nothing? Absolutely not. Tomorrow you will collect the rent from your tenants and your bag, and we will depart for the DR." "Yes, Father." Now we're in Wilson's office. Wilson goes to Australian, square-jawed Steve's desk. "What happened yesterday?" "Sorry, mate, I don't follow." "You saw me go into the bathroom, didn't you?" "Yeah." "I had a newspaper, didn't I?" "Yes." "So what happened? Why didn't you run coverage for me?" "Did someone walk in on you?" I can't do Australian, I'm sorry. "Did someone walk in on you?" "Yes." He quiets down and says to Steve alone, "It was awful. The worst kind of experience." "Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I went to get some Doritos, then decided to buzz off for the day. What happened? Did he jiggle the handle?" Did he jiggle the handle?" "As a matter of fact, he did. He jiggled it hard. Then he sat down next to me and consumed me in his warmth. Ugh, just thinking about it. Really let it fly, did he? A nice Havana omelet. Who was it? I don't know. I don't want to know. It was so disgusting and warm that I don't think I could ever look at the person the same if I knew who did it. It was unhealthy. I reckon it was Rex. I reckon he whips up a nice batch of biscuits, eh? No, it wasn't Rex. He was taller. I couldn't see who it was. They had black hair and a red comb. A red comb? Well, good luck finding your mystery date. Hey, Wilson, does this mean you aren't going to run coverage for me anymore? I don't know. Well, I'm still invited to the party tonight, right? I won't let you down again. It doesn't matter. You can't go back in time and erase that handle jiggle. I squeezed it off and it was gross the rest of the day. Took a shower as soon as you got home, did you? Steve, just what? Please just don't let it happen again. You got it. So, can I come to the party? Fine. Is your flatmate going to be there? Of course, it's his birthday. No, the other one. The one who owns the house. The one with the stick up his bum. He's on vacation with his family. It's his dad's house, by the way. He just collects the rent. Well, his dad did a good job of putting a stick up his bum, didn't he? Okay, now we go to the airport. Preston wears a tropical shirt and trails his parents. Come along now, Preston. We shan't be late. Joseph stops and passes Winifred their passport and tickets. I need to use the gentleman's room, Preston. Do you need to come? No, I'm fine at the moment, thanks. Well, come along anyway. It might be some time before you can use the facilities on the plane. In the airport bathroom, Preston stands at the urinal next to his father. Suddenly, Joseph makes a modest burst of flatulence and sniffs. Preston flushes the urinal and zips up. You haven't even gone. I don't need to go. Don't be silly. You're just being a shy soft-belly. Joseph flushes, zips up, gently pushes Preston back in front of the urinal and walks to the sink. So I really want there to be a moment where the back of his dad's hand is lingering on the small of his back. No. His dad's hand is lingering on the small of his back while his dad is kind of pushing him closer to the urinal. I'll wash up and leave. And so I'll wash up and leave you to go in peace. Let's just hope no one else comes in and causes you to clam up. Preston smiles, a weak smile. So, you'll run coverage for me? Joseph doesn't answer, just continues washing his hands and exits. As a few drops trickle into the toilet, Preston's gaze fixes on a mural drawn above the urinals. We're back in Wilson's office now. Wilson is looking around the office at all the men's desks. He checks all the taller employees with black hair, scanning for a red comb. Classic office boss Jim, in his 40s, opens the door and calls out, Wilson, could I see you a moment? We're in Jim's office now. Wilson stands in front of Jim's desk. Do you know anything about getting a small loan? I'm thinking about buying a Porsche, but I might need a little help. Your roommate's dad works at the bank, right? Sure, well, I guess I could. Wilson sees the red comb on Jim's desk. Would you mind maybe talking to him, getting a bit of info for me? Wilson is in disbelief. No. Pardon? It was you? You're the Uncle Ted? How could it be? I don't understand. Are you going to talk to your roommate? Wilson says, I quit. It's a surprise even to himself. Jim, I'm sorry. I quit. I can't work for you. It was disgusting. What was? The warmth, the smell, the warmth. It's not healthy. I can't work for a man who smells like that. And even if you didn't smell like that, I mean, you're an Uncle Ted. Such an Uncle Ted. Didn't you hear my toe taps? Didn't you hear me shuffling the magazine? How could you jiggle the handle on someone like that? Wilson, be reasonable. I'm sorry. We need you here in the office. You don't have to talk to your friend. I'll do it myself. Just, no. I'm sorry. No. It was too much. I had to brush my teeth. It was so warm. Wilson puts his electronic key card down on Jim's desk. Goodbye, Jim. Now Wilson's at his cubicle, packing his things into a box. Jim watches from the window, ashamed. Steve is by him. It was Jim? What are you going to do? I don't know. I just can't stay. It goes against everything I stand for. Listen, mate, I like you, but everyone knows you've got a tendency to be a bit of an angry guy. Don't you think you're rushing things? Who's going to be in my PFN? Wilson slams an item into the box. This isn't an anger issue. Then he gags. That warmth. He claps Steve's shoulder. You're a good guy, Steve. You let me down the other day, but on the whole, you're a good guy. But I've got to go. I'll see you at the party. Steve watches Wilson go, and then glances up at Jim, who shuts the blinds. Steve says to himself quietly, a nice Havana omelet. At home, the party is in full swing. It's nighttime now. Sean and Wilson drink and talk over the loud music. You quit? Right in front of Steve. I told Jim he's an Uncle Ted, and then I gave him my key card and just left. What did he say? Sean asked. Nothing. He was too embarrassed. I was sorry to do it, but I couldn't control my emotions. All right, so he's not going to apologize because Wilson's an angry guy. He's not apologetic. He's just going to say he's going to double down on the anger. Nothing. He was too embarrassed. All right. Maybe backtrack to Sean. What did he say? Nothing. He was too embarrassed. And he should be. Well, what did Steve say? A nice Havana omelet. Havana omelet? I'm stealing that. Steve stumbles over. 26 years and going strong, am I right? Cheers to the man who loves shit more than anyone I ever met. Cheers, Blumpkin. They chug their beers. Wilson says, you know what this calls for? And Sean says, layer cake. And Wilson says, layer cake. Now we're a little bit later that night. The whole party stands gathered around the bathroom door attached to the main room, drinking and chanting, layer cake, layer cake. Sean says, how many is that? Steve says, 4 or 5, I reckon. Steve, how's it going in there, pal? Knocking on the bathroom door. Now, this bathroom is attached to the main living area. Wilson exits the bathroom, nearly barfing. That is disgusting! Everyone cheers. Yay! Sean puts his hand on Wilson's shoulder and says, did you lend your sweetness to my birthday cake, brother? You're damn right. Who's next, Steve? Steve says, I went first, mate. Built the foundation, so to speak. Wilson turns to Sean. Who's it going to be, birthday boy? Sean looks around and spots Beth. The crowd is chanting around the bathroom door and drinking heavily. Layer cake, layer cake. We hear Beth's voice through the door. I can't go with all that chanting. The crowd quiets, and we hear her feminine grunting. Beth yells through the door, I got it! The crowd erupts and cheers into chanting. Layer cake, layer cake. Wilson says, don't flush! Beth exits the bathroom, scrubbing her hands with the towel. You think I don't know how to layer cake? She gives him a kiss and he folds her into his arms lovingly. Flushing's just such a natural reaction, babe. I like to remind people, many a good man before you accidentally flushed a layer cake. Aw, thanks, babe, she says. She turns to the crowd. Who's lucky number 6? Anyone got a poop? In the back, timid, with small, thick glasses, Becky raises a hand. I could poop. Everyone starts chanting, Becky, Becky, Becky. Becky is visibly imbued with confidence and runs in the bathroom. Sean shuts the door behind him and everyone gathers close to listen. Becky dry heaves. Oh, God! Ever seen a layer cake before, Becky? Becky? Becky's making puking sounds. Is she going? Wilson says, I think she's throwing up. Becky? Beth asks. Becky comes out of the bathroom looking green. Sean runs in to look. From inside, he yells, She iced it! The whole party erupts in cheers. Layer cake, Layer cake. The cheering of the crowd and party music plays into the night. If you are an independent filmmaker looking to make a movie but have no script, this channel may be just what you need. All of the scripts we have are low budget and require minimal or no special effects, perfect for aspiring filmmakers who want to make edgy, independent films outside the constraints of usual channels. Please contact me if you are interested in acquiring any of these screenplays.